we're going to focus on lower back today. And of course, if there's anything that feels too soon or doesn't feel good, then you can skip or just like modify or, um, you know, change it. So what we'll do, we're going to also just have a blanket close by too. You might need that a little bit later. And then of course, if you use a block. So we'll go ahead and lengthen through the spine, growing a little bit taller, connecting to the breath. If it helps to concentrate, closing the eyes. And then while we're sitting here, so much of our low back pain or pressure comes from our overuse of that area. So we want to reprogram our brain to strengthen our core, our abdominal muscles, and have this opposing side be the side that we engage and use more. So we have to kind of reframe. So as we're sitting here, I want you to draw the navel in so you feel the contraction of your abs. And at first, it may feel like you have to exaggerate that to know if you've got it engaged. And then over time, it's less work to just draw your abdominal wall in. And it's a little more subtle, but at first it may feel like a lot of work, and you may have to even exaggerate it to feel that it's happening. So it also may feel like it's restricting the breath just a little bit. So it will kind of almost turn our breath into that ujjayi breath, which is a good thing. So your breath may be a little more audible. So we've got that height, we've got our navel drawn in, and then we'll focus on deep inhalation, full exhalation, and we'll start to move a little bit deeper into the breath. Good, trying to maintain that abdominal connection on the inhale and the exhale. Also taking a body scan, just scanning from head to toe to take a little inventory on how you're feeling today. And then you will practice your yoga depending. So as we go through some of these, and some of them may feel a little too much, maybe they're a little, whatever that feeling is, kind of use your own barometer. And as you exhale, we're releasing any tension around the eyes or the jaw. We're going to put all of our thought process there on our breathing to clear the mind. If you'd like to set an intention or dedicate your practice this morning or evening, Good. We're going to start with just doing some neck rolls. So we'll lengthen through the spine, stay connected to the core. We'll gently roll the shoulders back away from the ears, and we'll tip one ear to a shoulder. Once we do that, we're going to do it gently and just relax the shoulders once again. And we're just breathing through any tight spaces that you might come across. Now on your next breath, we're going to start to bring our chin towards our chest. So we're keeping our spine nice and long, except for the chin tipping down. So we're kind of going into that chin lock, that Jalandhara Bandha. We want to maintain that deep breathing and abdominal connection, and hopefully getting a little stretch on the back of the neck and shoulder. Now on your next breath, we're moving to the opposite ear and shoulder, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Imagine you're breathing right into those spaces that are feeling tight or tense. Excellent. We're going to move back down towards the chin. And then one more time over to the opposite side. On your next breath, we'll come back to neutral. We'll go ahead and open the eyes and come into a quadruped position. So we'll come onto the hands and the knees. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to first start with cat-cow, which is great for the low back if there's a little arthritis there. Of course, each person could feel very differently, and of course, this does not indicate for those that have a herniated disc. But we'll draw the belly in. We're going to round from the middle part of the back, let the head tip down, hollow the belly, widen the scapula between the shoulders, tuck the hips slightly, so we're getting a nice rounded spine all the way from the hip to the head. And then we're going to reverse that. Keep the belly pulled in as we open the chest and lift the chin. And if the chest doesn't feel like it's opening very much, the chin won't come up quite as high. We don't want to go into the neck. So we'll exhale and round, deep exhale here. Inhale, open the chest, draw the scapula down, shoulders down. And one more, rounding into the back for cat. Inhale, opening the chest for cow. Good, we're going to come back to neutral. Excellent. From here, we're going to walk our hands forward just a little bit, make our way into downward facing dog, lifting the hips, letting the head release, drawing the shoulders gently away from the ears, hollowing the belly so you have that nice core connection, and maybe we're just moving, pedaling the legs back and forth, back and forth. Good. Now we're kind of pressing into the floor so you feel like you're really lengthening the spine all the way from the hand to the hip. So we're really growing tall. We've got our core connected so it feels like each vertebra has plenty of space here. All right, from here we're going to settle into our downward facing dog. And on our next breath, we'll go ahead and step forward to the top of the mat, coming into our forward bend. I'm going to widen my stance just a little more than usual. Grab opposite hand to elbow. Rest my arms on the thighs. You can always let the arms hang to the floor. Good. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Hollow the belly. And then maybe a gentle side-to-side sway. While we're here, just imagine any tension in the body that you're feeling floating out of the top of the head with each exhale. Stay connected to the core. Look down at the feet. Make sure the feet aren't pronating or supinating, but rather you're right in the center of the foot. And I mean, they may move a little bit since our hips are moving, but we don't want to find ourselves on the outside edges or the inside edges of the feet. So we'll come back to center, release the hands to the floor. We'll keep the knees soft, lengthen through the spine, really turn the belly on, chest is open, and glutes are on. And then we'll exhale and forward fold. Inhale, rising up, reaching the arms up overhead. Deep inhale. Exhale, swan diving and folding forward, back hands to the floor. Lift and lengthen through the spine. From here, I'm going to take my right foot, step it back, and bring the knee to the ground or the mat. I'm going to frame my left foot with my hands. Round the back again, push into the floor, draw the chin down, pull the belly in, maybe tuck the hips slightly. So we're going back into that cat. Good, deep breath. Good. All right, now from here, we're going to take that left foot that's forward and sweep it back. So now we're on both knees again. I'm going to slide my right foot a little bit out to the right and line up my right hand, right knee, and left foot and reach that left arm up and over. So we're coming into a modified side plank. We're going to reach that left arm up and over, really draw the belly in here. And if we open the chest towards the sky, we're getting a little more opening there, closer to the hip and the abdomen, a pretty tight area that can affect the low back. So we'll hold here for a couple breaths. Good deep breath. Excellent. And then we're coming back to the floor, so all fours. While we're here, we're going to kind of adjust back into our quadruped position, but take that left foot, bring the ball of the foot to the mat, draw the heel back, stretch out the calf. One more time, we're kind of going into that cat scratch where head is coming down. We're widening the scapula, we're hollowing the belly, and we're stretching the calf part of the leg. And we're just breathing into any of those tight spaces that are coming up. Good full deep inhale and exhale. Good holding for 2. Excellent. Now we're going to kind of bring our weight a little forward so our weight is in our hands and our right knee. We're going to lift the left leg up, keep the hips neutral and the back neutral, reach the right arm forward. So we're coming into spinal balance. I want you to reach with the foot, reach with the arm. You can soften into that left elbow a little bit. We're trying to stay as neutral as possible. Squeeze that right glute. And we're just going to lengthen again through the spine. Try to create that height that we did when we were in downward facing dog. Good. We'll hold for one more breath. And then come on back, right hand to the floor. Left knee will come down. On your next breath, we're going to step our right foot forward. So we're in our low lunge this time, framing the right foot. We're going to draw our right hip down, hollow the belly, round into the upper back. Good. Really spread the scapula nice and wide. Use that left foot. Push it into the mat so you feel that glute connection there. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Good for 2. And 1. Excellent. Let's go ahead and sweep that right leg behind. So we've got all fours on the floor again. We're going to slide our left foot a little bit out to the left. Line up our left hand, knee, and right foot. Right foot is long. Reaching the right arm up and over, coming into our side plank modified. And we'll reach, use that foot, right foot and right hand to reach in those opposite directions so you feel that lengthening taking place with possibly a slight turn towards the sky. Good, we'll hold here, deep breath. Perfect. We're going to come back onto all fours. So we've got our hands under our shoulders. We're going to take that right foot, bring the ball of the foot to the mat, press the heel back, press into the floor, let the head come down, widen between the shoulder blades. We're coming back into that cat position. Good, hollowing the belly. Full deep inhale and exhale. Perfect. All right. We're moving into our spinal balance, shifting the shoulders over the hands. We'll lift the right leg and left arm and lengthen. Draw the belly in, try to grow longer through the spine. Activate that left glute. We'll hold for 3. Deep breath 2 and 1. We'll bring the left hand down. Right knee comes down. We're going to walk our hands forward just a little bit, make our way into downward facing dog. Full deep inhale, full exhale. Excellent. Let's go ahead and walk forward to the top of the mat, coming into our forward fold. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release. Rising up, reaching the arms up overhead, deep inhale, and we'll exhale, hands to heart. Great. Here we are standing. We're going to step our right foot back 2 feet. So it's a very short stance. And then we're going to internally rotate our femur bones, both of them. So we're turning our left foot and knee, our leg a little bit in. And then we're turning our right leg in. So it's going to look like we're going to fall over basically because we've got both legs internally rotated going into the midline of the body. We've got our backside drawing down, our navel in. We're going to reach our arms up and we're going to draw belly in so you really feel that core connection. We're going to exhale, try to keep the hips forward. So we're adding a twist through the torso. And you know that you've got a little tightness when you go into that twist and you feel it on the outer part of your glute. So we'll take another deep inhale. We're going to now twist in the other direction. Keep drawing navel to spine. It should be subtle enough that it's not painful or too much. We'll come back to center. We're going to do that 2 more times. Deep exhale and twist to the left. Good, back to center. Exhaling to the right. 1 more time. Deep inhale. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Back to center. Good. And then relax the arms. We're going to turn both feet forward again. Step that right foot back and we're moving into our warrior 1. Drawing navel to spine. We're going to draw the backside down so we can really target the front of the hip. Pull the navel in and we'll hold here for 4. Connect the eyes to that drishti point. Good. We'll hold for 3. Good. Deep breath 2. And 1. We're going to bring hands to heart. Step the right foot forward. And we're going to begin to do that same step on the right side now. So we've got our right foot forward. We're stepping our left foot back, that 2-foot stance. We're internally rotating both legs. We're going to reach our arms up, draw the backside down, pull the navel in, and we'll go ahead and exhale to the right. And you want to feel weight in both legs. Inhale, center, exhale to the left. Good full deep inhale, center, exhale to the right. Back to center, exhaling left. One more set here, deep inhale. We'll exhale right. Inhale center, exhale left. Going to come back to center, bring hands to heart, turn the feet forward, step the left heel back, anchor the heel down, warrior one. Navel in. We're using those hands like we're reaching up and we're anchoring down. So we're just getting some length on the front side of the body. We'll hold here for 4 breaths. Good. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring hands to heart, stepping that left foot forward. Good. Shake the legs out. So we're going to do 2 parts here. We're going to let's sweep our right leg forward, and we're going to bring the heel down. So we've got a slight bend in the left leg, and our toes are up. So we've got a flexed foot, and imagine us doing a pistol squat. So we're going to keep the bend in the leg and lift the right leg, the leg that is flexed. We're going to lift, and you'll feel that core turn on, which is what we need. And we've got 1 more. We'll do 1 more. Good. And then we're going to come back to a standing and switch sides. So we'll bend into the right leg, activate that quad and glute, turn the glutes on, flex that left leg, turn that quad on, and then we'll lift and lower. Lift and lower. 2 more. Lift, kind of moving with your breath. Last one. And then we're coming back to mountain pose. Great. This one's a little bit harder, I think, balance-wise. So if you have a wall or something you need to hold on to, but it's all about getting that mobility in the hip. We're trying to create that space for the low back. So it'll look like a warrior 3. So we're going to lift the leg. The higher the leg, the lower the chest. So we're kind of turning our body into a lever. Our navel is in. We're going to point the toe or flex the foot, whatever gives you a little more length. And we're going to take that right hip and we're going to roll up like we're stacking our right hip over our left hip. And then we're internally rotating and our hip is now facing the floor again. So we start with that squared hip and then we're opening towards the side of the room. And then we're closing. And we're going to do 1 more, opening and closing. And then we'll come back up to a standing. Great. Shake the legs out. This time stepping the left foot back. And good news, you can do this keeping that back toe on the mat if you need a kickstand. So that's definitely an option. Let's go ahead and prepare. Soften that standing leg. Turn the glute on, and now we're opening the hip and closing. We're going internal rotation. Inhale, external rotation, internal rotation. Do 2 more, opening up the hip, stacking left over right, and coming back to that internal rotation. Last one, opening up the hip, lowering down into that internal rotation, and then coming back to neutral. Great. All right, we're going to go ahead and come into our mountain pose. Reach the arms up, deep inhale. Exhale, folding forward, navel to spine. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. We're going to step back into our downward facing dog. Let the shoulders move back away from the ears, hollow the belly. We're going to make our way into child's pose. Really allow the back to lengthen, forehead to come down to the floor or block. Release any tension in the hips or shoulders. Check in on the breathing. Full deep inhale, full exhale. We'll hold for a few more breaths here. Excellent. Okay, bring the hands under the shoulders. Turn that core on. Push yourself up to a seat, and we're going to get that blanket out. So I've got mine cut or folded into a rectangle, and I'm going to rest my pelvis right on top of that rectangle. So I will be face down, and the blanket or the pillow really helps to keep the pelvis neutral, especially if you have a tendency to go into an anterior tilt where your pelvis is drawing down in the front and it can cause back pain. So we've got our navel lifting up and in. I'm going to come up onto the forearms, elbows under the shoulders if possible. You can always walk the elbows out a little further to get the chest down. Now a little activation in the legs. You're going to press the legs down into the mat. Hollow the belly, pull the belly up away from the floor. Find that lift in the chin, but only as high as the chest is open. So we're drawing navel in. Imagine you're pulling your chest through your arms and the chest is moving forward. So you're creating more space in the upper middle spine. And we'll hold here, shoulders down and back. Imagine the scapula is also drawing down away from the ears. Good, we'll hold for 5. Deep breath 4. Good, 3. Good, 2. And 1. And we're going to fold forward and relax. Excellent. Let's bring the hands under the shoulders. Push ourselves back into child's pose. Let the hips release a little bit. Perfect. Okay. I'm taking this blanket and I'm going to roll. And if you don't have a blanket, that's okay. You can make do. I'm just going to roll it into a long cylinder. And I'm going to prepare to lay on my side. So this is going to go right on my waistline. Okay. So I'm going to lay on top of the blanket. Rest my head on my arm. Legs can be relaxed. And we're trying to just open up a little space there and release the low back in this position. So we're laying on our side. I want you to straighten your left leg. So we're going to kind of lengthen that, or the leg that's on top, and then reach that upper arm up and over. So whatever arm is on top. And just like that modified side plank, it's like we're lengthening and reaching in opposite directions, creating a little more space. We've got our abdomen in. We're going to hold for 5. Deep breath 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. We'll bring the arm back by our side. We'll use the arm to push ourselves back up, and we're going to prepare for the other side. So as we transition from pose to pose, especially if you have back pain currently, every movement, every adjustment from pose to pose, or you could be just doing regular yard work or moving around in your house, you want to really make sure that you have that core connection throughout those movements, those transitions. So we're going to go ahead and lay on the opposite side, straightening the leg that's closest to the ceiling, reaching the arm up and over, breathing through any tightness that you're experiencing here. And we'll hold for 5. Good deep breath. 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring that arm down by our side. Good core activation as we transition into a seated position. So we'll come into a seat. We're going to move the blanket, if you're using it, to the side and prepare to come on to our backs. So we'll roll down one vertebra at a time, bringing the head down to the floor. Great. All right, we're going to do a very shallow bridge. So we're going to keep the pelvis or the hips really close to the ground. We're going to imprint the low back into the mat so you feel your waistline touch down onto the floor and you feel that tucking, that posterior tucking action in the hips. All right, and we're going to draw the belly in and then keep tucking as you roll up, and we're going to keep it pretty subtle and low. The more that you tuck, the more you're going to feel the front side stretch, and the back side, the glutes activate, and more space for the low back. And so you can play with that just a little bit. We want to create that space and feel like it's all core connection here. And we'll start to slowly lower back down, one vertebra at a time, kind of really teaching the body how to articulate that and just giving that spine the ability to get some mobility and movement there. All right, so we'll go ahead and connect to the core, imprint the low back into the mat, and roll up one vertebra at a time. Full deep inhale and exhale. And we'll slowly come back down. Good. Let the hips rest for a moment. We've got one more. Deep inhale. As you exhale, imprint the low back, scoop the hips under, rolling back up one vertebra at a time. And then on your next breath, we're slowly coming back down to the floor. Let's come into a neutral spine. Walk the feet out a little bit. We're going to tip the knees to the right, tip the knees to the left, going into kind of that windshield wiper position, and then back to neutral. We're going to walk our feet closer to the midline of the body, engage the core first, and we're going to extend the left leg down the mat, turning the right knee out to the right. As you do that, if there is any tightness, it's going to tug your pelvis to move forward and down. So we have to stay connected to our abdomen to keep that pelvis in the neutral position there. And we'll hold here. Breathing right into those tight spaces. Now on your next breath, we're going to engage, move or bring the right knee to face the sky once again. And we're going to switch legs. So we've got our left knee coming up and extending our right leg going down. And then we'll turn that left knee out to the side. Connect to the core. Good. Deep inhale. We're going to lift that left leg back up towards the sky. Navel to spine. Really stay connected to that core. We're going to slide our right foot up and then bring it into tabletop. So we've got our right knee over the hip. We're going to bring our hands around the thigh. All right. And we're going to exhale and curl our chest towards our thigh like we're doing a chest curl. Draw the shoulders down and the rib cage down. And then we're going to draw the right heel up. And it's going to be a very delicate hamstring stretch. So you're not even straightening the knee fully. And then you're going to bend the knee, come back into tabletop, and bring the head to the floor. We're going to do that one more time. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, straightening the leg, drawing the chin towards the chest. Exhale, coming back down to the floor. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. We'll bring the right foot down, engage the core, lifting that left leg into tabletop. Full deep exhale, chin towards the chest, straightening the left leg. Lowering the head, bending back into the knee. One more time, deep exhale and lengthen. Exhale, head down, left leg back into tabletop. Let that left shoulder, neck release and relax. We're going to bring the left foot down. Let's move into our number 4 stretch. We're going to stay nice and stable in the hips so they're not moving when we lift a leg. We'll flex, evert the foot, and place it on our left thigh. Draw in as needed to feel the stretch, keeping the waist on the mat. Breathing into the outer glutes. Now on your next breath, a lot of core here, lowering the left foot down to the mat. We're going to switch sides, flexing, everting the foot, the left leg, preparing for number 4. Engage before those legs come up so you feel that abdominal connection. Full deep inhale and exhale. Excellent. Let's go ahead and place the right foot to the mat. Left foot comes down. We're going to widen the stance. Flex the right foot, turn the toe up, and then we're internally rotating the right leg, keeping the hips neutral. So if that right hip pops up, you're going to try to keep the hips on the ground neutral. Good full deep inhale and exhale. Deep inhale, we're going to come back to neutral. Flex and lift the toes of the left leg and then internally rotate the left leg. Perfect. We're going to come back up to center, walk our feet back together, extend the left leg down the mat, move with that core abdominal connection, and then we're going to take the right foot to the left quad, use the opposite hand to gently bring that right leg across the body. So we're going into a twist, but we may feel the outer glute a little bit more with this one, and that hip can rise up on this one. Perfect. We're going to come back to center, bringing that right foot down to the mat, switching sides. We'll extend the right leg, start to twist to the right. Good. Coming back to center. Now we're preparing for our Shavasana. So whatever you need to do to get comfortable, it does not have to be laying on your back. So if there is a better way for your body, it can even be that side stretch that we did earlier. So come into a comfortable position. Taking another body scan, checking in with the body to see how the muscles and the connective tissues are doing. Releasing any tension that you're coming across.